What's up, everyone? So last month I made a video talking about how great August was for movies. There was a bunch of new movies coming out. It was exciting. And after watching the movies I talked about, Jurassic World was fun. It was a lot of fun. Superman was epic. I saw it twice in one day. It was actually one of the greatest movies I've seen in a long time. And then, skip the third one for a moment. The fourth one, Fantastic Four, just as great. Very exciting, very epic. But let's talk about the third one. I was really hyped about I Know What You Did Last Summer. I love the first one. I love the second one. The third one is probably the worst thing I've ever seen. I don't understand why they made it. I'll always know what you did last summer. Don't watch it. TV show, amazing. So I was hyped for this one. Before we get into this, I should just say spoilers. Everything I'm going to say is a spoiler. Don't watch this past this point if you haven't seen the movie yet, if you want to, but it's already on streaming, so you should be able to... There's no excuse not to have watched it by now. It's part of why I waited so long to make this video, because I wanted to make sure people had a chance to see it. And I also really hate, being negative and tearing things down, but I had some problems with this movie. But I've worked on film projects before. I know how hard it is, how draining, how exhausting, how much it takes out of you. So I don't like to shit on things if I can help it. Normally, if I don't like something, I just won't talk about it. I just let it go. But sometimes, very sparingly, they annoy me so much that I have to talk about it. And this is one of those times. So here's the crazy thing. Overall, it was actually a pretty good movie. I did enjoy it. I really did. I actually really did enjoy it. For the most part. There were parts of it that I thought were even better made than the second part, And I like I said, I really liked the second part. So what bothered me about this movie if I actually liked it, right? That'd be the question. The twist. The twist actually kind of ruined the movie. For starters, it's not original in legacy sequels. I mean, Elizabeth Banks' Charlie's Angels did it, and that was horrible as well. But here, with this one, it wasn't even well hitting. It was just there, but played as a twist. To understand my issue, I think we have to actually get into the story. So the movie, much like the first one, is about a group of kids. They're, this time in their early 20s, we have about 5 of them, a bride-to-be, the groom, the girl best friend, the guy best friend, and then they meet up just before they leave with the girl that they knew in high school but haven't seen in years. They get drunk, they go out, an accident happens, someone dies, they cover it up. None of this should be surprising because that's the theme of the original movie. Just like most legacy sequels, they're like, let's redo the first one again. But not a remake, because we're going to incorporate the first one into this one. It's a legacy sequel. By now you should understand the premise, how these things work. That's fine. I can roll with all of that because it's a legacy sequel. It's what you're expecting. And in this instance, it's kind of what we want, right? So, as expected, a year goes by, and the girl best friend flies into town, hooks up in the restroom with another woman, and they both catch a ride back to town with the guy best friend, who is the girl best friend's high school sweetheart. So basically, she catches a ride back into town with her ex. And a year back at the wedding, she was trying to hook up with him again. She was trying to get back with him before everything kind of went to hell. Because there are clearly still feelings there, and it comes up on and on throughout the movie. It's one of the reoccurring subplots. So the ride is awkward because, her high school sweetheart and the girl she just randomly hooked up with in the back seat. And the girl in the backseat is a true crime podcaster who came to town because she wants to make an episode of her podcast about the original movie. Which obviously in this one's not a movie, but events. She read all about it, reached out to Jennifer Love Hewitt's character, but got turned away. So the bride and groom characters, they broke up after what happened. The bride's now engaged to someone else, and she gets a letter. Her new fiance is the first to die, and the movie starts. I mean, that's kind of where the adventure, what you're expecting to happen, now we're into it. And so far, I got to admit, it's pretty great. I'm in it. I don't have any complaints. We go we have the best friend and the podcaster girl go to the store that Sarah Michelle Gellar and her sisters, or her family, I guess, used to own. Now it's like a whole different thing. And they start looking for clues. The killer shows up and the podcaster dies. Now, here's where the problems begin. Right? This is where the twist becomes obvious. The podcaster tears off the hat, and so she sees the killer before she dies. We don't see him, but she sees him, and she recognizes him. Now, while we don't see him, and we should have no clue who it could be, except that if you have any common sense or any ability to discern things, you would know exactly who the killer is at this point in the movie. Or at least one of the killers, because spoilers, there are 2 killers in this movie. But this scene was meant to be like, who could the killer be? Except they did it entirely wrong. They're trying to build mystery and suspense, tells us the killer. They fucked it up in this part. Because the podcaster is the one who recognized him. If it was any of the other characters, then it would have been a mystery. It would have worked. What they were trying to do would have been played off. But because the character who died was the podcaster, who doesn't live in that town, she knows nobody in the town. Which means that the person she recognized can only be one of 2 people. Either the guy best friend who gave her a ride into town, or Freddie Prinze Jr. Because if she knew about Jennifer Love Hewitt's character, she knew about his character. The fact that she was utterly shocked tells you the twist. The second kill in the movie is how we know that Ray, Freddie Prinze Jr.'s character, turned bad. Because she didn't know the guy best friend. She met him once. She wouldn't be like, oh, it's you, with that utter shocked expression. But it being a survivor of the first movie, who she was a fan of, that would explain why she was in shock. I spent the rest of the movie trying to convince myself I was wrong. But I wasn't. Now, I really liked his character. I liked Ray in the first 2 movies. I thought he was a great character. And I do think it kind of sucks and is uncreative to make one of the heroes of the old movie the villains of the new one. But I say that, but I could live with it if they earned it, if they made it work. There is something to the notion that trauma messes with you. If something horrible happens to you, you might be more likely to pass that horror on. I mean, it's the plot of the show Dexter. But you have to earn that. Even more so if it's a legacy character, and a heroic one at that. Here, in my opinion, is where they failed. Not only did they not earn it, they muddled his reasoning. So in the big monologue, we get his reason why, right? Like in most horror movies, especially slashers, there's a big monologue as to why they did it. I mean, it's kind of the Scream-esque of it all, right? And his reasoning is that the town has been trying to become a tourist spot. In order to do so, it has erased its past. It has gone out of its way to wash away the memory of the first movie. And this is what makes him snap. Yet in the first 2 scenes where Freddie Prinze Jr. and Jennifer Love Hewitt reunite, we get hints as why they got divorced. It was clearly an ugly divorce. He goes to her house to confront her about the advice she gave the kids to uncover the killer and stop them. He's mad about that because it puts them in danger. After finding out he is the killer, you could read it as him being mad that she's sending kids out to get him. But this scene really ruins the twist. Not as in it gives it away, like the scene with the podcaster, but it undercuts the twist. They argue about how they dealt with the fallout from the first 2 movies. She can't let it go, and he has buried the whole thing and done everything he can to forget about it. He caused them problems, and it's hinted at that is the reason why they broke up. If he buried everything and wanted to move on and forget about it, why is he upset that the town is burying everything and attempting to forget about it? His desire to put it behind them caused his marriage to end with a woman he loved and caused him to resent her, which is clear in the movie. When others are attempting to do the same thing, he has to step in and remind everyone. It just doesn't make sense. If their characters were reversed, if she tried to put it behind her and forget about it, and he was like, no, we need people to remember, I could buy it. But the fact that he wanted to put it behind him and forget it so much so that it ruined their relationship while she couldn't let it go, how is he then trying to kill people to remind them what happened to them? It doesn't make sense. It's a flaw in the logic of the character. I don't know, man. They wanted this cool twist and didn't know how to pay it off. So not only did they not set it up, they did the reverse. And I don't buy it. It's so sloppy. The motivation is so muddy. His story doesn't track from one end of the movie to the other. Like, his motivation shifts entirely. And I understand why they went this route. In part 2, he's trying to put it behind him and she can't. So it would make sense that that would be where they're at in the movie. Like, I get that. But then his reasoning for the killings should have been something different. His reason for the killings doesn't make sense. It makes it then out of character. When crafting a story, the character has to come first. The plot has to come out of the characters. And this felt so out of character for him. It felt forced. Like it was just done for the sake of shock value. And that, I think, is why it bothered me so much. Also, the way that Jennifer Love Hewitt figured out he was the killer was a bit much as well. She gets a call from one of the survivors who tells her that Freddie Prinze Jr. saved her from the killer. The old friend they haven't seen in years. The other girl, right? After the call, she puts together he must be in on it because the girl worked for him and he cared about her. That is such a wild leap to make about your ex-husband who stole a boat to save you. Twice. He did it twice. Come on. Like, that's an insane logic leap. The twist just makes no sense. But other than that, I kind of really love the movie. It was fun. I even love the post-credit scene that hints at the 5th movie, brings back old characters. But yeah, I'm not trying to be negative and just shit on something, but it bothered me. It came off as poor storytelling, trying too hard to have a, like, what the fuck moment. I don't know. It bugged me. I thought it was poorly executed. I thought it was poorly thought out. And I thought if they didn't have that part, the movie would be a lot better. But what did you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Give me, if you like this, like and subscribe. And see you guys later. Give us legends.